Welcome to another edition of the CS Podcast, where you can hear interviews with special guests such as
Dayon Buchanan, Tom Waddle, Pierre Desir, Brent Barry, Ed Werder,
and many others.
Too big, too strong, too fast, too good.
So be sure to subscribe and tune in to the CS Podcast on YouTube at youtube.com/ChristianRE722.
Did you not get the memo?
That's www.youtube.com/ChristianRE722 for great interviews. Be sure to check out the CS Podcast.
You are ridiculous.
Welcome back to the CS Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Shanafelt, and I'm now joined by former NFL All-Pro defensive end and one of my personal favorites, Simeon Rice. It's an honor to have you on the show, Simeon. How's it going?
Fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Hey, the pleasure is all mine. So we're going to be talking about your NFL career. Then I want to talk about what you're doing nowadays. And Simeon, let's get right to it. After a very impressive college football career at the University of Illinois, you left as the Big Ten's all-time sack leader and entered the 1996 NFL Draft, in which you were selected by the Arizona Cardinals with the 3rd overall pick. Can you tell us a little bit about your draft day and what it was like to hear your name called up to the stage by the commissioner?
What was draft day like, right?
Yeah. What was draft day like for Simeon Rice? I got to know. I mean, you're entering the draft. You're already a big name college football player. You go 3rd overall. I mean, and it's safe to say the two guys that went ahead of you,
Deshaun Johnson and Kevin Hardy, my teammate.
it's safe to say you had a better career than those guys. So what was that like to hear your name called up after those two guys?
Well, you know what? My junior year, I was the number 1 pick in the whole draft coming out. On the left. But I decided to stay in school. For what? Because I promised my grandma that I was going to graduate. And do what with my dream? Who knows? I still yet to understand. But back then I just felt like it was an honorable thing to do. Being the first to graduate. And I only had a year left. And to be honest with you, I enjoyed it so much at the University of Illinois that I wasn't really in a hurry to get done, to be honest with you. I actually thought we had an opportunity of winning the national championship. And it was just another reason to delay the inevitable NFL draft. But when I got drafted, it was an unbelievable feeling. It really was. It was an unbelievable feeling. It wasn't full of drama because I kind of knew, like I said before, prior, that I knew I was going to be drafted in the first round. And my junior year, I was the number 1 pick in the draft, slotted. So there was no secrets in that regard. But I got drafted. I was sitting in a limo with Leland McElroy. If you remember, Leland was supposed to be he was slotted to be a first-round pick, but he dropped second-round pick. So we were in a car, and I'll never forget this. It was like yesterday. And he was crying. He was in tears because he was drafted in the second round. I didn't understand that. I did not understand. I'll never forget. I was in the limo with him, and it was just me and him headed to the airport to go to Arizona. And I said, "Why are you crying?" And he said, "Because man, I was supposed to be a first round pick." I hate to mock him. I said, "But regardless of the fact, you just got drafted."
Right.
He said, "That's easy for you to say. You're a first round pick, and you're the 3rd pick overall. So that means money." And I looked him right in the eye, and I said, "It doesn't matter how you start off, it's how you end up." I said, "I don't care about being drafted in the first. I mean, it's cool." I said, "But regardless of where I was going to be drafted, I'm going to still do my thing." And I went on to become the NFL Rookie of the Year and break records and do all that. I said, it's not about how we start off. I never forget that. I was like, I want to be legendary.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, it's cool. I got a good start. However, you do too. You're a second-round pick. You're fortunate. You got a lot of money. I said, what's going on in this league and wreak havoc on it? And he was just in tears the whole time. But he looked at me and I meant it. I said, I want to hold up a Hall of Fame. I want to be one of the best that ever did it. And thank God I achieved that.
And Simeon, your first snap as a pro was a 2-yard tackle for loss on now Hall of Fame running back Marshall Faulk. It doesn't get too much better than that. You went on to finish your rookie season with 12.5 quarterback sacks, and like you said, you were voted as the Defensive Rookie of the Year. The Arizona Cardinals, you guys as a team didn't have too much success during your 4 seasons with them, although you guys did make a playoff appearance in your 3rd year. Once your rookie contract was up, though, you became a free agent, and you signed a nice 5-year contract with those Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What was it about the Bucs that got you to sign with them? Because, well, I know for a fact they weren't the only team interested in you.
Okay, cool. What brought me to Tampa Bay? Weather. Playing in that weather, I was like, oh my God, I'll be able to play it. I didn't want playing in Arizona. You know, you got the benefits of playing in the late games, November games, and still be warm, and you know you could really get loose. You could get loose while you playing early. Then that vaunted defense. I wanted to go someplace where I was gonna have a really, even though we were number one in defense a few years in Arizona, I really felt like, you know, I want to be around a group of guys that really love playing. So when I looked down south, seen Warren Sapp, Derrick Brooks, John Lynch, seen all the guys, and I said to myself, you know, when I saw them playing Washington, and I think they beat Washington and lost to the Rams by like a point, and they held that Rams that circus offense that they had. I think like 17 points and 2 touchdowns or something ridiculous. I said, wow, if they had me, we'd have won that. So that year, I go to the Pro Bowl, I meet Rod Marinelli the year prior, and Rod Marinelli kept me after the practice at the Pro Bowl like a new toy. And I didn't even know he had those things in the works. But when I became a free agent, I came down to Tampa, we had a meeting, I had the Giants, I had the Bears, because you know, I'm a Chicagoan. So I sat down with, I think his name was, I forgot the OGM name. What's his name? You remember the OGM name? He said, we don't know if we want to bring you down to Tampa. To Chicago. He's like, you're all flash. And with no substance. You're like, he compared me to the Lakers, Showtime. He said, yeah, you're Showtime, but we don't know because we play every down here and you take off plays, and I didn't know where he got that from. I never heard nothing like that. But I looked him in the eye and I said, okay, I appreciate you for bringing me down, and I feel like he's trying to test my character a little bit. But whatever he heard or he's trying to compare to the rumors maybe, but I just politely said, thank you for bringing me in. I said, Coach, I know where I'm going to go. And it was between the Giants and Tampa Bay. And the Giants, they had straight hand, but they didn't really have an inside presence. I felt like they always say that a bookend defensive end is golden, but really it's a defensive end and defensive tackle. If you get an inside push and a corner push, then you kind of meeting at the quarterback. And I felt like there would be no step-up playing, so we could literally go nuts. Just came to Tampa. Brought my talents to Tampa. Tampa was just, it was a dream for me. It was a place I should have been drafted if it was a perfect world.
Now, when you became a free agent with the Arizona Cardinals, and you said that you met with the Chicago Bears, is it safe to say that you did want to go back to Chicago? Like you said, it's your hometown team?
I did. Yeah, I grew up watching and 85 Bears, and Richard Dent, Walter Payton, and guys like that. And I pretty much had so much respect for that organization and team. I just couldn't wait to come bring my talents back home to the city. I felt like if I was good at it, we'd have won a Super Bowl right off the gate, right away.
That meeting just totally turned you off, huh?
Well, it was what it was. At this point, I knew I wanted to go where I was. I didn't want to play games. I knew what I was. I knew nobody in this league could stop me. I knew I was one of the premier defensive players, young defensive players in this league. I knew week to week I had no matchups. I was a flip flop. I was a matchup. I made a offensive line lopsided. I knew I was a mismatch anytime I came out to perform. I knew there was not too many guys that was God made that can stand in front of me. So I wasn't worried. I didn't want to play any games, man. I just wanted to be great, and I wanted to be a part of greatness, and I wanted to go where I really, really wanted to go with a team that really, really wanted me and understood the value of big plays and splash plays and And I told Rich McKee over the phone before I got there in the negotiation process, I said, between 1 or 2 years, we'll win a Super Bowl. And Rich was like, when he heard that, I was like, listen, man, if you only had me down there a year prior, we'd already had one. He looked me in the face. I was like, okay, so we're going to get this done.
Chris,
You're going to have the two premier defensive players on the same D-line. That's unheard of.
For sure.
It was unheard of since, like, Jerome Brown and Reggie White. You didn't see stuff like that, you know. And we made it happen.
Chris Shanafelt talking with former NFL defensive end Simeon Rice, and it was that second year, Simeon, where you guys went on to win the Super Bowl. You guys finished the year 12-4, which was the best record in franchise history, actually, and you guys went on to defeat the 49ers in the divisional round of the playoffs. You guys actually got to get some payback as you defeated the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC Championship game. They actually beat you the year prior in the playoffs, and you guys played the Oakland Raiders in the Super Bowl. What was that week of preparation like, getting ready to play the biggest game of your career?
It was the same as when you do something, when you're doing something, when you're on a mission, you just do what you do. I mean, I've always prepared hard. I was always, you know, myself and our team, we were all really hard workers. We were on a mission. We knew in our careers this was going to crystallize our careers. This was going to take us to legendary status. You know, this was going to essentially put us in the Hall of Fame and things like that. All those things took participation into how we felt about that game. You know, myself, I'm like, this is the type of platform I need to showcase to the world what I've been doing in Arizona for 4 or 5 years, my first part of my career. So this was going to just cap off, you know, kind of all the brilliance throughout all of my decades and decades of playing. And myself, Brooks, Sapp, Lynch, Rondé, Brian Kelly, all the guys, Dwayne White, Dwight Smith, you know, all the guys you can imagine, Harris Williams, all the guys on our team. I can't mention everybody, but we knew how much that was we valued that spot. And we wanted to we wanted to perform to the level of our value for that game, and I think we were able to achieve that. We came out at one of the most dynamic displays of defense that we've seen in a very, very, very long time. You know, our defense was an offense. We put up points, we scored points. We were stifling, we couldn't be blocked. It was, you see all the alleged verbiage coming out from that game as if we knew what was going on in the huddle. But we were all geared up, ready to play, and we was just like, at that juncture of our career, we were literally an unstoppable force of nature.
Yeah, you guys, it's safe to say you guys stomped the Oakland Raiders 48-21 in the Super Bowl. And looking back, the 2000, like you said, the 2002 Bucs defense goes down as arguably the greatest defense of all times, and that's saying a whole lot. I mean, you guys were built with guys like yourself, like you said, Derek Brooks, Warren Sapp, John Lynch, Rondé Barber. I mean, there were so many great players on that one team, and we've seen teams in the past with a ton of talent. You know, for example, we remember Vince Young a few years ago saying his Eagles are going to be a dream team. We all know how that worked out. How exactly was that 2002 Bucs team with so much talent able to have the ultimate success and win the Super Bowl? Was it just getting all the right pieces in the right spots and having the same mission?
Well, yeah, we were all like-minded individuals, and we had accountability. We were a brotherhood. And that was our moniker. That's what our motif was. That's how we looked at the game. We were accountable to each other. We were accountable, and we knew each other so well. We just knew each other so well. We knew the things that we could take advantage of. I mean, from anybody from strong side linebacker to will linebacker that lined up behind me knew what to expect. You just knew it. You know, we could improvise and speak to each other and talk to each other. I could tell Brooks to go on the blitz because I got the outside. You know, and we covered each other. We covered each other. It was just such chemistry. We were so unified. We played together. We were hand in glove. We were connective tissue. We were membranes of each other. We were on the same page. We were harmony. of harmony. It was, you couldn't get any better than us. We were the epitome of a great defense because of the individuals that we had. I mean, first of all, you look up front, Sapp can win his matchup. Ellis can win his matchup. Booker McFarland can win his matchup. Crane can win his matchup. You know what I mean? I can win my matchup. We had so many guys and then you had two guys that just flat out, myself and Sapp, we just couldn't be blocked. So when you got that, we were blitzing. We didn't have to call a blitz because we had a blitz. We were in the backfield. We lived distracting plays. I mean, those things was a culmination of a bad situation for an offense. So then we had a linebacker that was just basically just brilliant. I mean, put everybody in the right place. He understood the game. He was a coach on the field. He was a great leader on the field. You could depend on him, depend on us. We fed off each other. We were accountable to each other. We were accountable to making great plays for each other. We relied on each other. I mean, we were in unison. It was just unison. And then when you get back into the deep thirds, the DBs, and things of that nature, from Brian Kelly to John Lynch and everything in between, you just had guys that were just able to feed. If you think about that year, Brian Kelly led the NFL in interception. I think he had 9 that year. It's a shame he didn't get a Pro Bowl berth, but he should have. I mean, you had that, and that went unsung. Think about that. 9 interceptions, and it goes unsung. Nobody really even talked about it, but it was just brilliant. We were able to really, really feed off each other.
So Simeon, let me ask you, and I understand you were a part of this 2002 Bucs defense. I understand that I might get a biased answer, but we hear about the 1985 Bears defense. We hear about the 2000 Baltimore Ravens, even last year's Seattle Seahawks. Is the 2002 Buccaneers defense the best of all time?
I mean, statistically, we would be probably the best of all time. But in my opinion, we are number 2.
Number 2?
Number 2.
Behind who?
Behind the Chicago 85 Bears.
All right. I don't know. It's tough to say. That's definitely a conversation.
I mean, I'm a Chicagoan, man. Right. At my core.
Well,
I watched the Bears growing up, so it's not fair to ask. It's a reference. It has nothing to do about, if you look pick position for position and all of that. You know what I mean? It's not, to me, it's a reference thing. I show a lot of respect to the old school. Just because we were the first ones to do it. All right. You know what I mean? I show a certain level. So, they showed us the blueprint. That's all. I don't want to get into that because, I don't want to disrespect us. Because I can guarantee there's nobody up front that was better than me. Nobody. You know what I mean? I don't care who.
I love it.
And then we had a defensive tackle that was just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So, he was amazing. And I think if you go position for position, we're like, okay, we got that. But out of reverence, because they came before us, and they showed us the Da Vinci Code. They were the first one that cracked it. Putting up points and scoring. I always show respect to those. It's just a respect thing. You know what I mean?
Right on.
But I think we know. You know what I mean?
Hey, so Simeon, we've already gone about 20 minutes. I really do appreciate your time. I got one last question regarding your NFL career, and then, of course, we'll talk a little bit about what you're doing nowadays. So we mentioned a few players a part of that 2002 Bucs defense, Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks. They're already inducted into the Hall of Fame. I know you were in Canton this summer to see Brooks get inducted. What was it like to be surrounded by all those legends, and do you see yourself one day getting inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame? I mean,
I can't believe it. I can't believe I haven't been inducted already, to be honest. If you rule your decade, you're the man. I was the fastest to 100, had multiple sack games than anybody in the history that did it at the top. I mean, I did everything you possibly could. If I didn't get injured, I'd have broke the all-time record. But I got injured, you know what I mean? That's after 12 years of playing, in the last year and a half, I was trying to fight back to get back to the level I was on, but teams were afraid. But the body of work that I had did, it was so far ahead of everybody. Sacks per attempts, I had more sacks per more attempts than anybody in the history of the game. On the least opportunities. I mean, because if you think about teams that played us, 3-step dropped it, and I still, averaged more and racked up more than anybody in the history of the game during my decade of dominance. So yeah, it surprises me, but hopefully they get it right. That's all I can say. Nobody had more impact plays that turn off defense into offense more than me, more sack fumbles than anybody, all of that, tackle for losses, all those things. Hopefully they get it right. You know what I mean? But I think the things that hurt me is the fact that when I left the game, I really did leave the game. Some guys are still on television and their relatives, and they like doing all the press and publicity for themselves, which is a good thing. Which is a great thing. Me myself, I got into film and I really turned the page because I love playing football. I don't really enjoy talking about it.
Chris Shanafelt talking with former NFL great Simeon Rice, and last but not least, Simeon. Let's talk about what you're doing nowadays. You mentioned you're not on NFL Network, you're not on ESPN. We rarely see or hear from you nowadays. Tell us what you're doing nowadays. I mean, I see you got your own record label. You're now a movie director. How'd you get into all of this after being an NFL Pro Bowler?
Well, I always said when I finished playing ball that I was going to go to film school. So I went to film school, finished film school, and I started Dreamline Entertainment. The first thing I did was I sold a TV show to HBO. Myself and Doug Ellen created Entourage, our partners on. And then the next thing I did was write a script and vetted the script around Hollywood. Really didn't get much traction for the script, so I said, and one studio liked the script, but they told me to rewrite it so many times, I just got kind of like frustrated, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do my own movie. I'll just write it, I'll cast it, and I did Unsullied. That was a second script, so I can go back and do the first script. It's a real passion project. But the Unsullied is a film. I got a Kickstarter, so definitely check out the Kickstarter on Unsullied. I need everybody's contribution. It's to be released in theaters in September. Right now, I'm doing the raise for a P&A, putting an advertising budget so we can carry all the ad space and things of that nature to really get this thing out there, to market this thing to an audience. And you watch it in theaters and film. It's an amazing. It's literally could be up for Film of the Year. It literally could. In terms of indie film, it could be one of the breakout movies of 2015. It's an amazing film. Check out Unsullied the film. That's what the trailer is. The movie should be out and ready around September of 2015. In theaters. But right now, like I said, I need to do the crowdfunding thing because we gotta raise it ourselves. To get the P&A budget right.
Now,
it's an amazing movie. If you love thriller, suspense, action, you're gonna love this movie because it has heart and it has a great story.
Well, I will definitely be sure to check it out, and I will talk about it. And is there a website that we could get more information on, or is there anything like that?
Yeah. I told you check out my Kickstarter. Right. Check out the Kickstarter, Unsullied, and check out the trailer, Unsullied the film. Check out Unsullied the film. Have all your students buy it, check it out. You know what I mean? We got cool gifts. We giving away cool stuff for those that donate. It's gonna be an amazing ride. It really is. And I got many more movies to come. So if any of your student bodies is interested in being in film and doing things of that nature and being PAs, hit me up. I'm always looking for somebody that's I'm always trying to springboard somebody to the next level.
Hey, that sounds
building dreams, baby.
Yeah, hey, that sounds absolutely fantastic, Simeon. I really do appreciate your time. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. You got anything else for us, man?
It's Unsullied the film. Check it out, man. It's an amazing thrill ride. We serious about this thing, man. Like I said, any students that want to reach out to me, or anybody that that want to be a part of this momentum we building right now, go to the Kickstarter, Unsullied, put in your info, donate some, give me your contact information, tell me what you want to do, whether it's acting, whether it's working on set, and things of that nature for the future.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good, Simeon. I'll be sure to check that out, and I'll help you spread the word. All right, man.